Hi Reception, it's Miss Beard here. Thanks for joining me for our literacy lesson today. Now for today's lesson, you will need the story map of our story yesterday called The Little Red Hen, and it should look like this. Turn the camera, like this one. And you'll need your story pictures like this and your story map like that. If you can't get those things, don't worry, I'll explain what you can do as we go along. But if you can get them, go and get those things now. Okay, in this lesson today, we're going to be sequencing a story. But first of all, I want us to practice a skill that we learned 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, you used a story map like this to retell a story. I'd like you to use your story map to retell our story of the Little Red Hen. Now, you're only going to get 3 minutes to do this. So I'd like your helper to set a 3-minute timer to see if you can do it in 3 minutes. If you can't remember bits, that's okay. Just use the story map as much as you can. Now, if your child is struggling to use the story map, that's okay. You can just use the pictures in the story map to talk about the story as much as they can. Now, if you haven't printed it off, that's okay. You can pause the video now and you can use mine. So pause the video now and retell the story of the Little Red Hen using your story map. Off you go. Reception, well done. You used your brain to remember how to use our skill of using our story map. Super job. Now for the main part of our lesson. I said we're going to be sequencing pictures from a story. Sequencing, that's a very big word, sequencing. Let me show you what our word looks like. Here's the word sequencing. I can see there are 3 syllables in our word. 1, 2, 3. Can you say the word along with me? Sequencing. Sequencing. Now, sequencing pictures from a story means that we have to put them in order. I wonder why we have to have pictures from the story in order. Well, I'm going to show you why. I've got some pictures from the Little Red Hen and they're all out of order. And I'm going to tell you part of the story out of order. See what you think. Once upon a time, a little red hen had already milled the grain to make flour. Later, she went and cut the grain, the wheat herself. That doesn't make sense. How could she have already milled the flour if she hasn't yet cut the corn, cut the grain? That doesn't make any sense. She needs to cut the wheat first, doesn't she, before she can mill the flour. So that's why pictures of a story have to be in the right order. We have to have them sequencing in the right order. Otherwise, it wouldn't make any sense. So you're going to help me do it. But first of all, I'm going to have a little go myself. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you my pictures. By the way, Reception, if you haven't yet got your pictures, but you get them, then I'd like you to go and get them now because you'll need them cut up, ready for our lesson. So let's have a little check. I'm going to show you my pictures and you should have the same ones. If you haven't got the same ones, that's okay. You can use mine for now. So what I'm going to do first of all, we're going to look at what the different pictures are. So first of all, I'm going to choose this one. This picture here, the Little Red Hen finds the grain on the floor. I remember that part from our story. So that's that picture. In this one, oh look, these are the Little Red Hen's friends. Oh, I can remember we've got Sleepy Cat, we've got Noisy Duck, and we've got Lazy Dog. They are her friends. I remember that bit from the story. Oh, look, Little Red Hen has got some flour. This is a bag of flour. I remember that she had to go to the windmill, to grind down the wheat for her flour. Let's see next. Right, you're going to have a go now. In this picture, this illustration, what can you see? Pause the video now and tell your helper. That's right. In this illustration, Little Red Hen is planting the grains all by herself. Oh, look. What's happening in this picture reception? Pause the video now and tell your helper. That's right. In this illustration or picture, Little Red Hen is eating her bread all by herself. What's happening in this illustration reception? Pause the video now and tell your helper. That's right. Little Red Hen has had to cut the wheat all by herself. I remember that bit from the story. And our last picture is here. What's happening in this picture reception? Tell your helper now. That's right. Little Red Hen is having to carry the wheat all by herself to the windmill. Now, if there are any pictures that you're not sure of, then I'd like you to pause the video now and you and your helper can double check some of those pictures. If you're ready to go, then keep on watching. So now we know that our pictures are out of order and we need to sequence the pictures, don't we? We're going to be, let's see our word again, we're going to be sequencing our pictures from the story. So to do this, we're going to use our story map from over here. You should have one similar. If you don't, that's okay. What I'd like you to do is either you and your grown-up can draw out a story map, or if you don't want to do that, then you can just talk about the different parts of the story in order. And you can do that by using that part of the recording. So let's see. So our story map here, let's have a look at our first picture. Our first picture is of Little Red Hen at the farm. Now we know that at the start of the story, Little Red Hen lives on a farm. But we've got a space there. We've got a blank picture. Let's see. I'm going to have a look at my pictures to see if I can remember what goes next. So let's have a little look. Now, does she next get the flour? I don't think so. Does she cut the wheat? Oh, I'm not sure. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at my story map to help me. Once upon a time, Little Red Hen lived on a farm. Oh, her friends. When you find the picture of her friends, that's what I'm going to do. Let's have another look. Oh, here it is. This is the picture of her friends. So we know that is the next picture for our story map. So I'm going to put it there. I'd like you now to find the picture of all of Little Red Hen's friends and pop it on your story map. If you don't have a story map, that's okay. I'd like you to pause the video and tell your helper the next part of our story here about finding her friends. Tell your helper what friends she had. Let's have a look. So the next part of our story. Oh, she finds the grain. Yes, she finds the grain. So I'm going to look at my pictures. She finds the grain on the floor. Let's see. Here it is. She finds the grain on the floor. And there are the grains. You can see them on the floor. Now, I want to check that this is the right picture that goes next, that's in the right sequence. So I'm going to look on my story map. Let's have a look. So she's met the friends. Once upon a time, it was a sunny day. There it is, look. There are the grains. So I wasn't sure, so I used my story map to help me. So if you can't remember reception, that's okay. You can use the story map to help. And the story map is here. So even if you can't print it off, it's right here. So I know the next picture in our story is where Little Red Hen finds the grains. And I'm going to put it in my next, there we go, my next box. I'd like you to get the picture of Little Red Hen finding the grains, and I'd like you to put it next in our story. Now, let's count how many pictures we've got left. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 pictures left. What your challenge is now, reception, is on your own and with the help of your grown-up or your helper, you're going to decide which one comes next, and you're going to finish all of the spaces in our story. So I'd like you now to pause the video. You're going to, on your own, with the help of your helper if you need it, put the rest of them in order. If you haven't got a story map, that's okay. What I'd like you to do is use my story map here to say the different things go next. What is the order? I want you to pause the video, but I'd like to come back and I'll show you what I've done so you can check to see if you've got it. So pause the video now and finish off sequencing the pictures if you go. Okay, reception, let's see. So the next thing that I'm going to put on is she had to plant them all by herself. Did you get that one? Let's have a look. So I put it on my story map. Now, the next one I'm going to do is that she has to cut the wheat all by herself. That is our next picture. Miss Beard has to tell you about a mistake that I've just made that might confuse you. Earlier in the video, I said we had 4 pictures left. We should actually have had 5. I've just found a cheeky picture hidden on the table. So don't worry if you got a little bit confused. It was Miss Beard making a mistake. But don't worry, it's all fine now. Right then, so let's see. Oh, the next picture that I did was that Little Red Hen had to carry the wheat to the windmill all by herself. So then I'm going to stick that on there. Did you get that one too? Good job. Now let's have a look. I know that at the mill, she had to turn it into flour and bake the bread. So I'm going to put that one on next. And finally, my final picture is that she ate the bread all by herself, and that was the end. Super job, reception. You have sequenced the pictures in our story. Good job.